Thank you for tuning in to another episode of InRange. Today we're going to bring you a dust test.
Yes.
You know, we're kind of infamous for our mud tests. And we've done 2 dust tests. We did them in a convoy environment. But this one we're going to do, we did an AR and an AK.
Yeah.
But this one we're going to do a Golani.
Right. So this is a Galil rifle. This is one manufactured from a parts kit by Century here in the US, and it's actually based on a parts kit that came in from a country other than Israel. I think these were Guatemalan.
Okay.
IWI sold Galils to a whole bunch of different countries, including a bunch of Central and South American countries.
Yeah.
And so when those were surplused, it was an opportunity for Century to build them into semi-autos for the US market. And that's what we have here. You've used this thing in a match before.
I didn't just use it in the match. I used it in the very first Desert Brutality 2018, and I won Classic Division with it. So
Nice.
Before any of you out there go, but Century, the reality is this has actually been a reliable rifle, and it is built off of a proper Galil parts kit.
Yep.
Just by Century. As with Century, your mileage may vary. They make a lot of good guns, and they make some that aren't so good. This is one of the good ones, and I've had no issues with it. In the match, I had one magazine that was bad, but it wasn't a gun issue.
Okay.
Well, I personally think this is an excellent piece to do as a representative for our dust test.
All right. Well, why don't you prove that it actually runs?
All right, let's do that. So let's go ahead and load it up. Take the safety off with that cool ergonomic safety that we have now.
Yeah. If you're right-handed.
Yeah, that's true. 10 rounds just to prove the gun's working. And that's it. 10 rounds.
To get out of the line of the brass there.
That makes sense. I'm going to put the safety back on. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and we're going to do this like we did the convoy test.
Right.
Condition 3. Magazine inserted, no round in the chamber, safety on. And what we realized in the convoy test is that was not the most efficient way to do this.
Right. It was cool, it looked cool, it was interesting to try, but there were 2 problems. One is it took a lot of time and infrastructure to set up, and it wasn't really well designed to be all that repeatable because of that time investment. And the second problem was that the actual, well, it looked cool, it actually wasn't hard enough on the guns. Like, we had to get more serious and kick a lot more dirt on the guns to get them to actually malfunction. So, is it a realistic test? Yes. However, we're not necessarily looking for just what are the sort of moderate conditions that you might legitimately encounter in a military field environment. We're looking for, let's go to really severe conditions and see which guns can actually continue working in those really severe conditions. As with the mud test, if we kind of expect a lot of the guns to fail this, and if they don't, we're not making the test hard enough. The whole point is to see which guns can actually really handle that super seriously bad environment.
Yep. And so we're going to try and do this in a repeatable way. And our first step to this is to just go and drop it in the sand.
There we go. Now, the question is, how do we kick a lot of dirt onto that?
I think I have an idea on that.
Okay, well, let's give it a try. How's it look?
It's kind of like the first convoy test, the first time before it didn't really have any failures with the AR and the AK. It's dust, sand. Shake some of that out of there. You can see kind of dust coming out of it. There's little rocks caught in little bits and pieces, so make sure there's nothing in the muzzle. Oh, did you see sand coming out of that? And so I'm gonna go ahead and take it off safe. It's a little very grindy, and I'm gonna chamber around. Ooh.
Oh, maybe you are.
Did you hear that?
Whoa, hold up. Holy mother of goodness.
That's bad. There's a lot in there. Let me shake that out briefly.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work.
No, I'm gonna shake that out briefly. Like that. Remember we blew in there? All right.
Yeah.
Didn't get around. Hold on. There it goes. I'm in.
I'm stepping back.
Ready?
Yep.
3 rounds. A failure to feed. It felt kind of weird, honestly. But we got 3 rounds.
Yeah, what's going on in there? It looks like it overrode the case.
So I'm going to try and run the action.
Yep.
We got a dented case. So I'm going to take that mag out. Oh.
Sand down into the magazine spring.
Let me hit it. Uh-oh.
I think that magazine may be toast.
Oh, no.
All right.
All right. All right, here we go. 2 rounds.
I think that might be everything.
Hold on. Nope. I had crunchy trigger and then it fired. And now we're out. So let's go ahead and get another mag.
Okay. I happen to have another mag that I can give you.
Don't want to get that dirty. All right, this is a clean mag. This was not through the dust. All right, so now we're a clean mag, still dusty gun. All right, so when I look in here, I don't know if there's enough light. There's a lot of dust. I mean, it is absolutely gruesome inside.
Rotate that towards the sun. Let me come around this side.
Yeah. It's gruesome in there.
Yeah, that's pretty dirty.
It's really bad. So the failure, there was so much sand right here in this recess when we first opened the gun, there was no way it was going to chamber around. I blew it out, and then we were able to get a round in, but then the magazine that had been subjected to the dust essentially failed miserably. So, not sure what to say about that. Should we go ahead and reload and try it one more time?
I'm not sure.
This was a,
I think at this point we've cleared out the sand that was causing problems.
I agree, so we can continue shooting, but we just got through a mag of 10 without an issue.
Yeah.
So I think we need to load up those mags again and give it one more dousing. Clearly, the dust cover open is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
So why don't we close it, load up one more mag or 2 more mags of 10 and see how it does with another round.
Okay. All right, more sand.
More sand. Let me get the big giant rock out of the way that blew out of there. This is again condition 3, so we have a magazine that's loaded with 10 rounds but nothing in the chamber. I'm gonna pick the gun up. I am going to turn it upside down to make sure there's nothing in the barrel, because I mean this is a wind condition sort of thing. You can see sand falling out of the pistol grip. It's dusty again. You can get over here a little bit. There's actually little rocks fitting into the clearances between the bolt carrier group and the receiver right here. I don't know if you see them, but there's little pebbles here.
Yep.
That is an open, this is the supposed open clearances of AK design, right? That's gonna help stuff come free. I'm not sure that's true. Maybe that's letting stuff in versus letting stuff drop free. Let me go ahead and take the safety off. It is crunchy.
Oh, I can hear that.
And here we go.
How's it look inside?
Bad. Same thing. I'm gonna dump out that sand. It's literally full. Oh, sand coming out. All right. Round and battery.
All right.
Here we go.
Not bad.
So maybe there's magazine stuff going on here, but this second mag, which was this was the clean mag we used for this second test, ran fine. Little confused. So we had a very bad result with the first mag, and we had a decent result with this mag. We knew to blow it out because there was a lot of dark garbage in there. That was an interesting result. What do you think we should do? Should we do it another time, or do you think we have a conclusion here?
I think we're good where we are.
All right, let's get together and talk about this.
All right, I think it's important, first off, to reiterate that we're doing this dry.
Yeah, we are.
And we're doing that more as a baseline so that we can be a little bit more objective about this, because there's no way to have every gun equally lubricated.
Yeah,
unless it's zero lubrication.
People asked about that in the convoy test. They're like, well, you don't run your guns that way in the field. You have some lubricant on it, or you use dry lube, or you do this, or you use frog lube, or you use CLP, or you use XYZ. And the problem is XYZ is infinite, and the amount you apply or don't apply is infinite. And like you said, I'm reiterating, but the only way to make sure this is consistent is to run them with nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see the core of the mechanism, how it handles the dust, in relatively equally between each gun that way. So the problem is this is the first one that we've done this way.
It is. The other ones were convoy.
Yep.
This is the first time we've used the 100-mile-per-hour sand blower.
Yes, the leaf blower test.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a lot of context for rating this thing's performance.
I don't either.
In the one sense, it did reasonably well, in that once you were able to clean it out, and in particular get a good magazine in it,
Yes.
it ran quite well. In fact, what's interesting to me is the bolt doesn't feel gritty.
No, but the safety does. It did.
Not anymore.
It did when I first unlocked it.
And I think a lot of that is because we're running this dry.
Yeah.
It's far easier for sand and little pebbles to fall out of this thing if it's not full of lubricant.
I agree. Now, what I found interesting is that the amount of garbage that actually did get in directly around the barrel and near the trunnion, and then as an extension of that, not only around that, but down through here into the magazine.
I didn't expect that either.
I didn't either.
I thought this was a fairly well closed up system.
At least in this iteration, it was not. And both times we did it, when I opened up the bolt, there was no way that round was going to go into battery. There was literally sand covering the entire internals of the gun.
Yeah.
So I opened it, dumped it, which you saw in the video, and then blew on it, which blew most of it out. And then once we got around into battery, or into the chamber and in battery, with a clean mag, the gun ran.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on when we did the mud test, like you were saying, as we did mud tests, we learned more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
The very first mud tests, frankly, are not as good as the ones we did later because we had reference material from previous attempts.
Right.
I think this one's going to be one that maybe we'll revisit someday because this is a reference. Now, this is going to be one of the first videos in our reference library.
Yeah.
But with the Galil, or the Golani at least, I'm going to say this. The failure wasn't the gun as much as it was the magazine.
I think that's going to be a recurring theme for us with this, because that magazine follower in virtually every design has a lot of friction against the magazine walls. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take much sand in there to jam up the follower. And if that follower jams up, it doesn't matter how clean the gun is. If it can't feed around up into the action, it's not going to work.
So, at least with the Galil, I think the remedial action, when you realize that this has happened to your gun, is to take the mag that's on deck, trash it, and take a clean one out of your pack or pouch, open the gun, blow it out, put a clean mag in and chamber around, and from what we've seen, at least from today, you would be okay to go.
A couple interesting things that occur to me. Mm-hmm. First off, the FS2000 has a rubber gasket around the magazine.
It's to push dirt and debris off the mag as you seat it.
And that magazine seated there in an FS2000 you wouldn't have dirt coming in through the mag well. No. Now, this one, I suspect we did have some.
Probably.
That's probably one of the best ingress points, actually.
It might have been because the mag does kind of have, like any AK, not just a Galil or Golani. There's a little bit of wobble in the mag, and there's a little bit of clearance around the mag well. But we saw dirt and rocks actually getting in through the bolt carrier receiver gap, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And, yeah.
So, all right. At any rate, I'm going to say that actually did fairly admirably well, considering how much awful we put on it.
I agree. I think we should go find a gun that's not going to do so well and try it next.
The failures are going to be what teach us more than the successes. Yeah. So, guys, stay tuned. We're going to have more of these kind of dust tests, and it's you, the viewer, that makes this possible because this is an entirely Patreon-supported project. No monetization from any ad revenue whatsoever. This Golani and the ammunition you saw today all is there because of you guys supporting us. So, if you can, please consider supporting us on Patreon. And if you already are, thank you. And if you can't, the other thing you can do for us is subscribe to one of our multiple distribution networks. You can find them all on InRange.tv. Thanks for watching.